Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of The Moon, a Korean dramatic thriller from 2023. In the near future, South Korea's first crewed mission to the moon ends in a tragic disaster when an explosion occurs on board. 5 years later, a second human spaceflight is launched successfully, but a strong solar wind causes it to malfunction. One astronaut is left stranded in space, and facing another fatal catastrophe, the Naro Space Center turns to its former managing director, played by Sol Kyung-gu, to help bring him back home safely. Now, the film opens with a brief scene that reminded me of the real-life Space Shuttle Challenger explosion that happened back in the 1980s. A slightly disturbing moment in the film, for sure. Unfortunately, it's probably the most effective dramatic moment in the entire film. The Moon really tries to be dramatic, but it mostly fails because the script writing is so extremely cliche, it becomes eye-rolling. Like, in all honesty, I probably could have written the script for this movie. I'm not even joking. Or perhaps it was artificial intelligence that wrote it, using a combination of cliches and tropes from other movies. I don't know. As just one example of what I'm talking about here, Sol Kyung-gu's character is flown in, right, to deal with this tragedy. And he was also in charge, or participated in the last mission that failed miserably. So, of course, he's like the washed-up good guy who's dealing with his tragic past. We get lines of dialogue like, "You have to move forward. No matter what you do, you can't bring those people back." And of course, he has personal connections to the astronaut who is currently stranded in space, which provides even more run-of-the-mill drama that we've seen a million times before. There's a revelation near the end of this movie that is so pathetic in its laziness, I was shaking my head. It's like the big revealed secret of the movie, and it has zero impact dramatically. It's really bad. The geopolitical aspects, like the relationship between Korean and American governments, they're just dumb and simplistic. There's simply no effort placed into writing an interesting story or characters for this movie. It's like they took a story template and just dropped it right in. All right, we're done. The runtime of over 2 full hours does not help. If this was a shorter, action-packed thrill ride that was stupid but fun, could have been entertaining. But they take themselves very seriously in this movie, and it's really slow during the opening half. Now, in terms of thrills, The Moon is pretty basic stuff, The obstacles for our protagonist are things such as temperature control and repair to prevent freezing on the space station, the process of landing on the moon, etc. There is one scene that I found moderately entertaining, and that's the meteor shower scene, which does last quite a while, and it's executed fairly well. Unfortunately, and that occurs like right in the middle of the film, and unfortunately the second half just cannot maintain that momentum. We have like near duplicate pod crashing sequences, like near duplicate all hope is lost sequences. It's just like, it's just forgettable and kind of repetitive, which really makes you question the 2-hour runtime. In terms of realism, I'm no scientist, but it seemed kind of ridiculous at times. Like, taking into consideration the insane amounts of damage this dude's escape pod, or whatever they call it, takes during the second half of the film is just ridiculous. And just wait until you see the finale. The final set piece is just incomprehensibly stupid and unintentionally funny, in my opinion. Performances are good, though. The actors tried. Special effects are pretty good as well. But I cannot recommend this. I can't. I would say this is just boring and stupid. It was tough to sit through. It is streaming on YouTube and Amazon if you absolutely insist on watching it. But I say skip it. And as always, folks, I'll see you next time.